Hey everybody, welcome to the FreeThinkers of Clarksville. I got something for you. Joe Pitt's trying to increase your taxes to fix some roads. What do you think?
Those roads, I'm going to be talking about those roads because I found a commenter who thinks that we may be spending all of our transportation money on the wrong kinds of projects.
I'm going to close us out tonight discussing a mystery in the chicken industry.
Okay, everybody, let's get into the current state of the tax situation in Clarksville. Mayor Joe Pitt's putting a 20-cent increase on a $100,000 value, right? So we're looking at $200 for a $100,000 home, all right? Increase to spread the love. We are spreading the love in all road construction throughout Clarksville. His proposal for his 2020 plus transportation plan with this tax increase will put some kind of advancement on road construction in every ward in the city. Sounds like he's pandering to all the city council members, but, you know, he's just sharing it across the band, right? Okay? Getting a lot of pushback, right? Nobody likes to see their taxes increase, but to what extent? Well, let's talk about what this one comment from one of our local citizens has to say.
Okay.
Mayor Pitts fails to grasp Clarksville has seen enough economic development and prosperity across the eastern or so years. I'm going to assume that was an autocorrect. We're going to say dozen or so years. We see it on the roads all day, every day. It's time to reintroduce hashtag quality of life. I don't see Google or Amazon or lead acid battery manufacturing on the city seal. I do see agriculture and maritime transportation. So here's the question, guys. Have we gone astray as citizens of this great city? We are an agricultural city. We are the maritime transportation up the Cumberland. Why are we increasing taxes? To feed organizations that are not at the root and heart of the Clarksville native. Wayne.
Well, I think we are, right? Agriculture and commerce, those are the mottos of Tennessee, and if Clarksville wants to be part of that, we need to grow things and we need to trade things. And what do we need in order to grow things? We need places to do that. What do we need in order to trade things? We need to move those things around. And fixing infrastructure, having roads where we can drive to work, drive to the farm, drive to the factory, drive to wherever, right? That's important. Maritime transportation, I know that on our seal it's got a boat, right? But we're not a river-based economy here. If anything, he complains about Google, for example. A lot of the things we need to grow and trade depend on a different type of infrastructure, the internet, trucks, trains, things like that. We're moving into a different style of economy. You might, instead of grow the wheat, put it on a boat, you might make some shoes and put it on a truck. There's nothing wrong with evolving that way. And so as far as the vision for the future of Clarksville, the question isn't whether we ought to adapt, but what we're adapting into, and I think it's heading in the right direction.
Okay, so we are becoming more of a manufacturing town, I would say, right? So we need the roads and the way to get that manufacturing product and the workers to those locations to manufacture, or even in the words of the Google consideration, now we're becoming more technological, right? So we are pivoting away. Do you think that the citizens are okay with that? I mean, is this plan comprehensive in where the future of Clarksville is heading? Mike, how would you like to respond to Wayne's comments?
So, Wayne, going over this commenter here, I think I understand where they're coming from. I see how they would push back against you. You see, if you're a longtime Clarksville native, if you've been here and your family has been here, in the last Eastern or so years, you can tell how much has changed.
Right.
We've definitely gotten bigger. We used to be known as the largest small town in the state, right? Every place you go, it was like that, having a small town feel, even though we had 100,000 people. Now that we're keep notching it up, more businesses are coming in. Like Robert said, we're becoming more of a manufacturer town. That has a completely different feel than a maritime and agricultural feel. So I can see where this citizen is talking about the quality of life and how they're losing that. And you know, I've been here a long time, and I can see definitely that has changed. It's not the same city that it was. Now, whether or not that's a bad thing is up for debate, but I can see where someone could look at it and say, yes, we have these new avenues, we have more money coming in, there's more people, but things aren't different. We're moving too fast. We're moving. This isn't the town that it used to be, which, you know, this commenter, and I think I understand where they're coming from. They want to go back to that. They want to slow things down a little bit, make sure that when you go to the diner, you have time, it's good food, it's good friends, good family. We're losing that touch. You're losing that small town feel that we've had. And, you know, some people are going to miss that.
So, Mike, I'm gonna you know, summarize what you're saying is that we shouldn't be taxing the natives of Clarksville because we don't want this growth, right? I mean, that's the thing. We want to go back to the mom and pop. You know, I'll say this. You know, I've always associated Clarksville in a lot of ways with old money, right? That's who really pulled all the levers of progress in the town was the old money.
Sure.
So now we have new development. We have new investors, new development. I don't know. I wish somebody would do a real thorough investigation where all this development's coming from, where the money is, why the housing market is so insane currently with the price of homes. But is it enough to say that the big controversy really surrounding this tax hike also is that if the 20-cent increase on the value, the $100 value, isn't accepted, Mayor Pitts has basically said you're either all in or you're not. If you don't accept it, then we're pulling out all transportation enhancements for the city. Is that a good way to go about it?
No, I don't think that would be a good way. And I think maybe the commenter, if I understand they're right, they're not coming saying that increasing the transportation stuff is bad. It's just if you're going to put that hike in, you're going to pull that money from everybody, then you don't just need to keep expanding and keep everything the same. If people are giving more to the city, then the city needs to give more back, bump that quality of life up a little bit. And the only way to recognize that quality of life bump is going to be to bring back more of what people found so valuable of living here in Clarksville.
Sure. So the comments are, I mean, it seems like Joe Pitts is playing both sides of that argument, right? Talking out of both sides of his mouth. It's either saying you either adapt to the progress and take the taxes that come along with it, or we stop progress and we pull the taxes out. But we can't do both. Wayne, what do you think?
Well, my understanding is his proposal has gone through. But the idea that an increase in taxes is related somehow to progress, that's not the question here. The question here is, what are we progressing into? Because if his idea is, well, we're going to have a bunch of, if the vision for the future of Clarksville is we're going to have a bunch of factories move in here, I can understand why people say, well, is that really what I want out of this city? Is to attract, an Amazon, a Google, a giant corporation, a lead acid battery factory. If would we get excited if we were going to build a giant battery factory in the middle of town? Maybe, for the people that want to go work at a battery factory. But that's is your average homeowner sitting there thinking, man, I'm glad the mayor's taking an extra $200 for every $100,000 worth that he says my house is worth, because he's sure putting that towards making sure Google has some nice roads when they build their factory here.
Sure. So I would encourage everybody watching to go in and do the research, right? See what the enhancements are. See where they are. Do the enhancements typically just feed the commercial zones, or are they primarily the residential zones to make sure people can get around to the other businesses and get around town in a timely manner? I think it's very important that we continue to enhance transportation in town, because we kind of do both, right? We allow our citizens locally to have a good quality of life by making sure they're not spending a commuting time which would be equal to driving to Nashville,
right?
By just trying to get from one side of town to the other, because the transportation is so bad and the influx of traffic is so horrible. So Let us know what you think. Give us some comments. Give us your arguments. What do you think about Joe Pitts? What do you think about your council representative? Who's representing you in the ward, and what did they vote on this topic? And let us know what you think. Thanks, guys.
Clarksville Now headline says, Wilma Rudolph Boulevard repaving project starts Monday. They're repaving Wilma Rudolph. Those of you who have been down through there may have noticed. Went down into the comment section. Wasn't expecting too much, but I found one I thought was quite interesting. Commenter says, if we just had flying cars, this wouldn't be a problem. I feel like we've been cheated. Now, I identify with this a lot because when I was a kid, if you told me that in the year 2021, we would still be repaving the same roads in the same places using the same kind of cars, right? I thought there'd be flying cars by now. I thought at least I'd be jumping into some kind of weird train or, I watched Minority Report the other day, and they had all these, self-driving cars, and we're not even close to that. We're driving the same old cars. Heck, I'm driving, I've been driving cars from 20 years ago. Still today, see them on the road. And made me think, maybe we are investing in the wrong kind of infrastructure. We're not thinking outside the box. We're just going to repave that road for the next 100 years and keep driving cars down it. There's no vision for the future there, is there? Mike, what do you think?
Well, having discussed this a little bit with Robert, I'm going to take the position that if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Okay.
So the cars we have now on the roads are working, and they're easy to repair. They're easy to replace, and the roads themselves are even easier to replace. We know that because they replace them every couple of years. So,
if it ain't broke, don't fix it. It's the kind of attitude that's going to hold us to the past. I hate to think that 100 years from now we're still repaving Wilma Rudolph Boulevard so I can drive down it to get to my.
Have you seen?
I would. Go ahead, Mike. I'm sorry.
No.
Go. No, I was just thinking. Flying cars. That's great.
Right.
Do you need roads with cars?
I mean, you still
Not
have
if they're flying.
You still have to
how conceptually would a town even look if you had no cars?
Like the Jetsons, I guess.
Like what? Well, the parking. Where would you go?
You just land on
hover and drop out.
Hover, drop down in the same old parking lot.
Sure.
Heck, what would we turn the roads into if we had flying cars?
So do we really need flying cars? Why don't we just have like little jumpsuits that attach to a drone that just carries us through the air?
Yeah, we can do your groceries and your kids and stuff.
Well, then that'll just be delivered. I mean, are we eventually just going to get to the point where we just don't need to leave our homes? All goods and products and services are just within the confines of our buildings. I mean,
I thought in the future I'd be hopping on a moving sidewalk or jumping in a teleporter or flying cars and jetpacks are just the start, but we ain't even close to that. We're still paving with asphalt. I'm
gonna go with the commenter on this and say, yeah, you're damn right. Why are we spending all this money?
You do feel cheated.
Yeah. What's the asphalt got to do for me? What's the cost?
If Mayor Pitt said we're going to raise the taxes, we're going to put it into a flying car grant down at Austin Peay, we'd be like, that's interesting.
And then we find out that the whole key to flying cars is lead acid battery manufacturing. And look at us, guys. We're totally missing the mark.
You're looking at this the wrong way.
Okay.
Listen, the roads we have, they're beautiful, and the ones that aren't beautiful, we're going to be replacing them. We just had a tax hike to replace all the ugly roads with nice, pristine, beautiful roads that people are going to drive on. Even if people had flying cars, they'd be flying over the same roads because no one's going to change that. Everyone loves the smell of tar in the morning. They love the drive down Wilma Rudolph when it's paved. I mean, it's one of the best roads. Listen.
Did you just trump the Wilma Rudolph Road?
Listen, I am going to speak to every Clarksville native here right now. You guys have been going down the interstate, following it on, pass through our town, pass through our county. You cross immediately over into Kentucky, and their roads are what's the broadcast appropriate? Can I say they're not very good?
Yeah, they're not very good.
I mean, immediately, boom, you're like, well, I crossed over. You don't have to see the line.
I'm in Kentucky now.
Yeah, you know it. And so if you say that there isn't value of having nice roads to drive on, I mean,
we want those people coming down from Kentucky to hit that Tennessee border and be like, this is really nice.
When they go, Kentuckians come down here and they go, all the stuff I say about Tennessee, they have some damn good roads.
Without an income tax. How do they do that? How do they do it?
Yeah. So it's something to be proud of, and flying cars, they're gonna follow the same roads anyway, so just keep the roads.
What a silly comment. Oh, okay, yeah. Well, I'm proud of the asphalt on top of the concrete crushed rock, but we wouldn't be proud of the fact that Tennessee introduces the first flying car into the United States.
Clarksville traffic, if we allowed the citizens to have flying cars,
sure,
what they would actually be doing. With
yeah,
them.
yeah, it'd be great. It'd be fantastic.
What would the electric cowboy parking lot look like?
I would assume that electric flying cars would be
All right, let's just
self-driven.
We'll just settle this, okay?
All right.
Flying cars can come out. All right, the Tesla's getting close to having self-driving cars, self-flying cars.
Mm-hmm.
If they can get them and they're reasonably priced, say $1,000, whatever reasonably is, would you get one?
A flying car?
Yeah, would you get one?
Yeah, if the price was right.
Would you get one?
Well.
Yeah, if it first generation comes out, you're going to
see
get one.
that. The first generation flying cars. You're right. You're right. It is, but I just feel like we need to start working our way that way. Right,
Robert, you going to get one?
So yeah, but it brings up the other question. How do you what if you have a flying car? Are you legitimized to have to? Are you just flying over the cars that are on the asphalt? These poor impoverished losers that have to still because they're. What's the ride like?
Everyone
maybe
who's going to get a flying car is going to have their regular car parked in the driveway because they know it's going to be reliable. They know it's going to get them in the snow whenever there's a big wind.
Sure.
When there's rain that the flying car can't fly in, they're going to pull out their old trusty and they're going to go down the nice roads.
The old trusty.
Jeez. Come on, you guys. Cars are great.
My wife's
roads
got
are
an
great.
old trusty. So here's what's going to happen, right? We're going to invest in the asphalt, and then when the investment stops going in the asphalt, that smooth drive that you're looking for when you got rubber on road, but then you have these exhaust fans, these turbines from the flying cars flying over you. It's going to shake your entire car, and these people are just going to be flying smoothly.
Some rich guy is flying over all
the
You know what we'll do?
You
What we'll do? We'll just make a separate road for flying vehicles.
Oh, now we got 3 roads? How many roads do we need?
Roads are great.
This is insane.
And we're great at building them.
Roads.
I think if we did introduce flying cars, you're right. We'd immediately see a bunch of rich guys flying around in their flying cars, and then they would stop repaving all the roads because they're like, we don't need the roads. Mayor's got a flying car. He's not driving on the same roads
love
as
this.
us.
I would really. I guess when you think about the Minority Report and stuff like that, what does the city planning look like now?
Right.
Everything's just stacked up into a column, right? Because you can just fly into anything.
We grow up instead of out.
One building, yeah. You just grow up instead of out, and then you don't need all these thoroughfares to get around. You let nature reclaim what we have taken. Would you do that, Mike? You're going to keep paving these asinine, archaic roads and take. How many dead deer? I saw a dead baby deer the other day. That's on you, Mike. That's on you. That's on you.
There ain't no flying deer yet.
Sometimes the risk is worth
the reward.
Well, Clarksville, let us know what you think. Should we be wasting our funds repaving Wilma Rudolph, or do we need to look toward the future? Let me know in the comments.
All right, everyone. I just want to apologize in advance if we get removed from the airways, if we get zucked for talking about big chicken. You guys have probably heard that there's a shortage of a staple food in this town.
Yeah.
Chicken wings.
Gasp.
As someone who is quite fond of chicken wings,
right,
and Wing Wednesday down at Evil Nash Brewery, it just really concerns me.
Yeah,
and I've been thinking a lot about it, and I've been reading some articles on Clarksville Now, and someone made a comment that really blew my mind. Put it in perspective that I had to bring it here and talk about it today.
Okay.
All right, the comment says, how is it possible to have a shortage of wings without a shortage of the rest of the bird? And I got to thinking about it. Every time I go to the store, tons of chicken breasts, tons of legs. Everything's there. Wings aren't there. So I can only come to a conclusion that there must be some reason why chicken wings are being withheld from us here in town and all over the country. I haven't checked, but here in Clarksville, definitely a shortage in wings.
Yeah.
So, Robert,
Yeah, I got this.
you think it's big chicken coming after us?
No. I think it's a left-wing conspiracy from the hashtag MeToo movement. Why? Why, you ask, right? Because wings are synonymous with Hooters, and wings and Hooters are synonymous with misogyny, and they're trying to crush it. They're crushing down on our moms and our sisters and our mothers and our wives.
Right.
Going into these shady establishments, selling, whatever you want to say, low product chicken parts so they can be ogled. That's exactly why we're doing it.
Chicken wings are associated with misogyny and that sort of low-level sex trafficking.
That's right. Guess what there's not a shortage of?
What's that?
Boneless chicken wings.
Yeah.
You know why?
Why is that?
Because they take all the other excess parts and throw them into that. But when you want to get that bone in there, that's what's coming down.
Okay.
So when you think of a bone, you think of a boner, they're cutting out the bones.
Okay.
You got it?
So it's a metaphor.
It's a metaphor.
Well, I think it's completely off base here. It is not a left-wing conspiracy.
Okay.
It's a right-wing conspiracy.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's
of
backfired
course.
on them.
Okay.
You see, Big Chicken has been trying to hatch this plot for years to sell us more chicken. Right.
See,
You've seen it with the spicy chicken sandwiches and stuff. They want us to buy chickens. So they pushed. They're sitting around thinking, okay, we got to sell more of this chicken. Well, what are we going to do with all these wings? Because it used to be they take the chicken, they cut the wings off, they throw them away or turn them into dog food or something. That's the trash part of the chicken, right? You ever had a night? You don't go in and you see a whole chicken there, right? You got to get a nice rotisserie chicken or something. You don't say, yeah, give me that wing. No, you want the drumstick, you want the breast, you want the good parts. What they figured out is they sat around in their boardroom one day, bunch of corporate capitalists, right? In their big fancy suits and their cigars and their leather chairs. And they say, how are we going to sell this trash part of the chicken that we're throwing away, these wings? And I say, well, we're going to do the same thing we do with all trash food. Bread it, deep fry it, cover it in some kind of sauce, toss it out there, right? And so they basically invent chicken nuggets for grown men, right, that they don't even have to process into chicken nuggets. They just bread it, deep fry it, cover it in hot sauce so you can't taste how bad it really is, sell it. Well, yeah, hook that up with some misogyny, and all of a sudden you got a whole industry, of let's get all these drunk guys in here, give them to eat a bunch. But these guys are sitting here, right? Who out there will sit there and eat a whole chicken? There's some, right? There's some guys that could eat a whole chicken by themselves. Not too many.
A whole chicken?
You're not going to eat 2 chicken. No one goes in and orders like 2 chicken breasts.
No, you order
or like
a quarter
5 drumsticks.
chicken, maybe half a chicken.
Yeah. But they'll absolutely sit there and eat 20 wings.
That's insane.
They underestimated how popular this trash food was going to be.
Yeah.
You got all these guys sitting there at Hooters or whatnot, drinking their beer, and they'll sit there and eat 20 wings, because it tastes like hot sauce and fried breading. It could be anything under there, right? You could have sold them a piece of alligator meat or something. It's gonna, and it backfires on. Now you're running out because these wings are so they're more popular than the actual good part of the chicken.
Well, so here's the biggest part about this comment, though, too, is why is it such a staple? Like, well, you can't bread, fry, and dress a drumstick in the same thing that you would a wing. Why are we so stuck on the wing?
I've done it at home. You take a drumstick, you bread it, fry it, cover it in hot sauce, and you got yourself a giant drumstick there.
Yeah,
why not a turkey leg?
Yeah.
Would you
why is Big Chicken holding us down like this, Mike?
Well, you don't see. I mean, they've been, over the course of our history, feeding this into our culture, into our laws, into our media. Wings are the way to go. I mean, so it is something we can't help. It's instilled. It's part of us.
Right. You eat hot wings. You don't eat hot legs.
No, you don't. I mean,
you don't eat hot thighs.
If someone said, "Hey, why don't you come over? I'm cooking up some hot legs," people would be like, "What? I'm not going to that guy's house."
If they could, they'd sell us the gizzards, hot gizzards.
Hot gizzards.
All right. Hot beaks. What else do they think they can get away with?
Chicken feet.
Yeah. So I think that's why they're doing all this boneless wing promotion stuff.
So
they're trying to sell us the rest of the chicken.
Just to clarify, what we've come up with, let me see. It is a right-wing plot that just became more successful than they ever imagined.
Backfired on them.
Backfired them. Now, instead of making a ton of extra money, now they have a ton of extra anger from the population demanding that food that they've been bred to want. Or it's a left-wing suppression plot in order to just take wings out, change the world to a better place, promote.
So here's what in the center of the conspiracy is the wing, right? Outside the layers of the onion, once you start adding them in, there's only misogyny, there's only sports, right? And how controversial has sports become, right? You're sitting there, you're getting angry at people kneeling, you're happy that they're kneeling. Who knows what the emotional reaction is? So what they're trying to do is sterilize, us from getting offended by removing the epicenter of what has made us angry for, the thing that brought us all together to get angry. It is the wing.
So the left is trying to make us stronger and the right's trying to feed off our weakness?
I don't know.
What do you think? I would love to read the comments right now. This is great.
Let us know in the comments, folks.
Have we solved it? Or is there even deeper mystery?
Is it truly a shortage? I mean, when I read the Facebook comments, I almost thought he was talking about just shortage, like smaller chickens.
No, they
like nubbed chickens.
The chickens they start breeding them for the wings now.
All right,
they breed them for the wings.
Oh yeah. Right. So let us know what you think. Let us know what you've done to fight back against Big Chicken.
The wingspiracy, Wingate.
Do you think there's
they need to manufacture like a genetic, like a sixth wing chicken.
You know what? We should get somebody like that pizza guy to just make wings and then sell them on Facebook posts, but then not have interviews with newspapers about it.
Does the shortage make wings taste better?
I think so.
Like if you had to pay, like they used to be like 20 cents a piece, right? So now if they're like $2 a piece, is it like?
If I get chicken wings these days, it's a special occasion.
It's special. Yeah.
How much would you pay for a perfect chicken wing? Let us know.
Thank you, everybody. What a great show today. A lot of hot topics, a lot of controversy out there. If there's something we're not seeing that you need us to pay attention to, please use the hashtag FTOC. Please use the other hashtag FTO Clarksville to draw our attention. Maybe it'll be on the show and you'll have guided us there.
And if you're looking for a community that sees a future where the taxes are low, the cars are flying, and there's plenty of chicken wings, join us on Facebook, FreeThinkers of Clarksville, or join us in the studio. Send us a message if you'd like to join.
Thanks, everybody, again for watching the Free Thinkers of Clarksville. For Wayne, Robert, I'm Mike H. Remember, as always, to comment, like, and share, and we'll see you next time.
If there's other comments or we are only three.
Thanks, everybody, again for watching the Free Thinkers of Clarksville.
All right, one more time. Damn it. No, we're